a dark road. I am a man who walks alone.
Well, you know, the album as a whole isn't that great, but that song, man, that's Fear of the Dark, the title track off of that album by Iron Maiden. That concludes the Halloween edition of Mostly Metal. And it is now time for the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program here on WVLP 103.1 FM, Valparaiso's only all-volunteer community nonprofit radio station.
Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
This is the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program, episode 90, coming up on 100. It'll be probably about 3 months because we don't do this every single week. So maybe in early 2020 we'll get there, and I'll have to think of something special to do. Anyway, last night in Griffith, Indiana, we had the Backbreaker Wrestling Show Sharpshooter Submission Tournament. And it started with 2 matches that had to be decided by submission. The winners of those 2 matches met in the main event to become the new Backbreaker Submission Tournament champion. So you can hear a condensed version of the action here. It's about 40 minutes, about 15 to 20 for the first half, and the same for the second half. So sit back, relax, and have a listen to what went down last night in Griffith, Indiana with Backbreaker Wrestling. Holy cow. I am finally at St. Mary Hildebrandt Hall in Griffith, Indiana, the St. Mary's Catholic Church complex. Yes, apparently Catholics enjoy their wrestling, and so Backbreaker Wrestling frequently holds shows here at Hildebrandt Hall. It's a huge crowd for Backbreaker tonight. That's good to see. I think everybody decided what better thing to do on a crappy, rainy Saturday night than to go see some wrestling. And it's also one of those rare weekends where there's not, 14 shows going on in the area. I'm exhausted, so I might, maybe I can catch a nap here, at least at intermission. I just drove up from Crawfordsville, not a wrestling show in Crawfordsville, but I was down there for work. And that's about 2.5 hours away, and it was just pouring rain the entire way back. 65 is always miserable, even on the best of days. Today it was much worse. A trip up 65 is not complete without seeing a jackknife semi off the side of the road, so got one of those. Finally made it here about 15 minutes before the start of the show. Got my shoes and socks soaked coming in the doorway with the standing water outside in the parking lot, but I kept all the gear dry, so hopefully it's going to work. Yeah, so Ken the Metal Professor, going to catch your breath here before the show starts. Backbreaker Wrestling's submission contest. Let me try that again. Backbreaker Wrestling's Sharpshooter Submission Tournament. Some of the matches tonight will be part of a tournament where the winner of the match has to have a submission, no pinfalls. So we will catch up with the action when it begins.
Your tonight. Making his way to the ring, weighing in at 230 pounds from East LA, Luis Rojas. And his opponent, making his Backbreaker wrestling debut, weighing in at 175 pounds from Lafayette, Indiana, the originator of the Crisis Hotline, Jamie Crisis.
All right, match number 1 of the night is a qualifying match in the Sharpshooter submission tournament. Luis Rojas versus Jamie Crisis. Jamie Crisis making his Backbreaker debut. Luis Rojas not impressing the fans as he made his entrance. And we'll see who submits who and moves on in the tournament. I always like that. I got the ring bell, and I always like to wait until the first big slam on the mat to taper down the sound. Let's see how long it takes for that to come around. Could be a while. It's a headlock. And an armbar. Ooh, a tilt-a-whirl from Jamie Crisis to get out of the armbar, but now he has Luis Rojas in an armbar. I mean, I appreciate that it's a submission tournament, so arm bars are certainly appropriate, but I just want the big, loud slam of the mat. Just the first one. There we go. Luis Rojas getting dropped with a shoulder block. We may have to check in on Luis Rojas after the match. Jamie Crisis just gave him a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Took him down to the mat. Luis Rojas landed right on his head, hard, kind of vertically, and looked like he compressed his neck and probably is about 2 or 3 inches shorter than he was before now. And he doesn't have a whole lot of height to give up, so I hope he's doing all right. So far, he just keeps getting knocked down, so who knows. Chop-O-Rama, Jamie Crisis hitting Luis Rojas. I always like to turn the mics up for that. Never one to overlook an opportunity. Luis Rojas just shoved Jamie Crisis into the ref, and then while the ref was kind of recovering himself, Luis poked Jamie Crisis in the eye. And now he's got him turned over into a upside-down figure 4 leg lock. I'm sure there's a better word for it, but, I'm always in learn-as-I-go mode. And Jamie Crisis taps out, so Luis Rojas will advance. We'll find out later who he's going to meet in his next match in the submission tournament. Jamie Crisis gets a hand from the audience on his way out. Even though he lost his Backbreaker wrestling debut, the crowd still appreciates it. Waiting for the announcement for match number 2.
Your next match is being brought to you by Hammer Mufflers. I know, right? Woohoo, Hammer Mufflers. This is also a qualifying match for the Sharpshooter Submission Tournament Championship. And the winner of this match will face Luis Rojas in the main event tonight. Hailing from Kalamazoo, Michigan, weighing in at 270 pounds, Richie Rothschild.
So far, Richie Rothschild is coming out without music. I don't know if that's planned to be his thing or if there's technical problems. Now, the crowd doesn't like him, but I'm going to give him props because I'm kind of disappointed in the Backbreaker wrestling crowd. Here we are 5 days before Halloween. I'm in my Cactus Jack get up with my Wanted Dead or Alive shirt, autographed, by the way. My sleeveless red and black flannel shirt, black sweatpants, and white gym shoes, and a Sacco standing by if needed. Flawless Dave Allen coming up, number 2. I'll continue when the music is not blasting. Okay, so Dave Allen's music has quieted, and I can continue my diatribe. 5 days before Halloween, I'm in my Cactus Jack get-up, celebrating Halloween, and I'm really glad I brought it because I got to change out of the clothes that were soaked from the rainstorm coming in. There's hardly anybody here with the Halloween costume on. Now, I know it wasn't like announced as a Halloween show or anything, but really, there's a little girl with a Wonder Woman shirt, and that's about all I've seen. But anyway, Richie Rothschild was in the spirit. He came out with a skull mask and a white ring jacket that had lights on it. So he was in the Halloween spirit, and I appreciate that, even though I'm still rooting for Dave Allen to smash him in the face. Richie Rothschild had been working over the leg of Dave Allen, and Allen just went to do a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Rothschild, and you could tell that it messed him up as much as Rothschild, because all of Rothschild's weight came down on his bent knee. Now Rothschild's wrenching Allen's right leg again, putting a lot of torque on the knee. Allen's face down with his leg up in the air. He's trying to get to the rope. He might make it. I think he's close enough. The crowd wants him to get there. There he goes. He grabbed the rope. The ref Oscar is calling for the break. Rothschild isn't breaking. So Allen turned around and gave him an enziguri. I mean, one of his legs was already up in the air anyway, so why not? And now he has Rothschild in a sleeper. Rothschild's dropped down to one knee, and now Allen has it cinched in with his legs around the body like a python. One arm drop by the ref, 2 arm drops by the ref, and 3. So Dave Allen, with his loud music, made Richie Rothschild pass out. So the main event tonight will be Dave Allen versus Luis Rojas in the Sharpshooter submission tournament. Now, if this was like WWE, Luis Rojas would be backstage standing sideways to a television screen like nobody does in real life, watching that match and noting that Dave Allen's leg is pretty messed up after that first match, and so Rojas might have an advantage going in if he makes a note to go after the leg. On the other hand, Allen has a good hour and a half to recuperate. Tag team match coming up. High Society. Haven't heard of these guys yet.
With the manager of supposed champions, Scott Powers. Sorry, he was forgettable.
I'd like to say that Thomas the Benjamin Keith has a Halloween costume on, but I think that's just his normal gear. Although we had a yellow goldish top hat, given that money rich leprechaun look to him. High Society against Johnny Motley and Jake Roan. The poor ring attendant is highly burdened with all of high society's nonsense. Gold hats, coats, necklaces, liens on their houses maybe. Jake and Johnny are doing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to start. Now, one of the benefits of Backbreaker Wrestling, among many, the way it's set up, is that the ring mic is over on the stage, which is across the room from the ring, and so we don't have to listen to high society introducing themselves. Because that can get obnoxious. I'm sure you've heard it on past editions of the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program. Cheap plug. High Society is in control of the match for now. They were doing their rotisserie kicking shtick where Johnny Motley was down on his butt in High Society's corner. Say Eric Young is standing over him, kicking him repeatedly in the gut, tags in Thomas Keith. He comes in, kicks Johnny Motley repeatedly in the gut. He tags in Eric Young, who comes in and kicks Johnny Motley repeatedly in the gut. And repeat that, 4 or 5 times. And so they finally move on to something else, but Motley's pretty much been a lump since then. Eric Young has hit Motley with a standing moonsault. Got a 2 count. I think Jake Rohn wants to get in on this. But Motley's back in High Society's corner. And that was him being planted with a sidewalk slam. Keith is goading Jake Rohn to try to come in. So now the ref is clearing out Jake Rohn, which allows High Society's manager, Scott Power, to give Johnny Motley the business on the second ring rope. I imagine Scott Powers is High Society's financial advisor. After several more minutes of being on the receiving end of this, that, and the other thing, Johnny Motley finally has a chance to tag in Jake Rohn. You can hear the crowd appreciate that. And he's come in and is taking out both of High Society with clotheslines. Kurt Joseph has come out to ringside. He's yelling at Scott Power for something. His colors match that of High Society because of his Masters gear. It's green and gold as well. Well, let's keep an eye on him and see what he's up to. High Society has Jake Rohn down. Big flying leg drop from Eric Young onto Jake Rohn, and that's the pinfall. Right before that, Thomas Keith had hit Johnny Motley and knocked him to the floor in his own corner, so he could not help. Kurt Joseph is getting in the ring with a little sarcastic applause for High Society. And he is raising their hands. And now all 3 of them turn to look at Johnny Motley and Jake Rohn. Backbreaker Wrestling, Cade Lee must have had his eye on this situation because he's had enough of Kurt Joseph's nonsense. So he's come out to ringside. In the ring are shenanigans, but Jake Roan and Johnny Motley are not all the worse for wear. They've knocked the other two out and are left alone with Thomas Keith, who's now getting clobbered by both Roan and Motley, and then that was a wicked clothesline from Cade Lee on Thomas Keith, and now he is pointing at Kurt Joseph as if to say, the next one's for you, bud. So for the moment, High Society had Roan and Motley outnumbered, but now the odds are even, and Jake Roan, Johnny Motley, and Cade Lee are standing in the ring, and the trio in green and gold are skulking off to the back. And usually 3 matches, then intermission for Backbreaker, so I'm guessing intermission is next.
Unfortunately, making his way to the ring, being accompanied by Scott Powers, the manager of champions. Weighing in at 220 pounds from the Bushwick Country Club, Kurt Joseph. At 205 pounds, this is the Outlaw, Zach Hendricks.
The second half of the show is opening with Kurt Joseph versus the Outlaw Zach Hendricks. I don't know if I've seen Zach Hendricks before, but he got a pretty good reaction when he came out. He even has his own cheering section. There's about 2 or 3 rows of people right in front of me that all stood up at the same time, gave him a standing O when he came out. They're cheering for him before the match even starts. Yeah, Kurt Joseph is explaining how impressed he is, which is very little. Zach Hendricks is providing service to the crowd. He had Kurt Joseph outside the ring and was leading him around, brought him to the section that had stood up to cheer for him earlier. Let one of them have a free swat at Kurt Joseph, but then Joseph turned him around and pushed him into the ring post. And now Kurt Joseph brings the action back into the ring with a headlock. Kurt Joseph kicked one of Zach Hendricks' legs out from under him near the ropes, and then Joseph knocked Hendricks down, so he was straddling over the second rope around his shoulders and neck, facing outwards. And then Joseph would distract the ref, giving his manager Powers an opportunity to mess with Hendricks as he was draped over that second rope. So it was sort of 2-on-1 for a while, and Hendricks is taking a little bit of time to recover from it. He's trying to get the crowd behind him. That's him thumping the mat. Now he's got Joseph lined up in his sights and a big running uppercut in the corner. Bouncing off the opposite turnbuckle, and this time a clothesline in the corner. And a bulldog in the center of the ring. But only 2. I'll let you tell from the crowd reaction who won the match.
Your winner, this time, Kurt Joseph.
So Joseph did manage to defeat Zach Hendricks. And now he and his manager are celebrating in the ring. Well, if they weigh 34 stone combined, I'm guessing that Drex Odell is about 30 of them. Drex Odell and Kevin Graves make an odd pairing, but we'll see how they do.
And their opponents, weighing in at a combined 410 pounds, the team of Billy the Kid and Dick Davis.
Our second tag match of the night, Drex Odell and Kevin Graves against Dick Davis and Billy the Kid. Originally, the opponents for Odell and Graves, I believe, were going to be the Polish heartthrob Jaron Skulka and Angus McDuff. And both of them had to change plans, at least one due to injury. I know Angus McDuff tore an abdominal muscle. At least I think that's what he wrote on Facebook. So an ouch on that, and I hope he heals up nicely. We have Dick Davis and Kevin Graves starting off. They circled each other once, and then Kevin Graves turned around and smacked Drex Odell on the chest to tag him in. And then Kevin Graves jumped outside, grabbed his yearbook, and paraded around holding it over his head. Kevin Graves is apparently stuck in high school mode. That yearbook never leaves his side. I'm wondering if Drex Odell thinks it's just him against everybody, because Billy the Kid and Dick Davis were both in the ring tag teaming Kevin Graves for a minute. And Kevin Graves did a monkey flip up and over them and ran into his own corner. And Drex Odell just shoved him back into the center of the ring to collide with the other two. Now, there was a strategy, because while Kevin Graves was colliding with the other two, Odell snuck into the ring and grabbed them both and threw them out up and over the top, or threw them out through the ropes, and then just picked up Kevin Graves and threw him over the top rope onto Dick Davis and Billy the Kid. And now Kevin Graves has gotten back in the ring, and he's sort of questioning Drex Odell as to what the heck was up with that. Oh, and now Odell and Graves are in a little shoving match of their own until Dick Davis tries to come up from behind, and Odell pushed Graves out of the way and clotheslined Dick Davis. So at least for now, Odell and Graves are back on the same page, with Graves in the corner waiting for a tag. Odell in the ring working on Dick Davis. Drex Odell and Kevin Graves have each checked in and out several times, while poor Billy the Kid has been receiving the brunt of the punishment on his own for quite a while. Dick Davis is fresh on the outside, but unable to get a tag. Drex Odell just went for a splash on Billy the Kid in the corner and missed. That was Billy the Kid putting Kevin Graves up and over in a backdrop. And Billy the Kid is... Oh, he just went to the corner to try to tag, and Kevin Graves yanked Dick Davis down to the floor just at the last second. So Drex Odell is still in the ring with Billy the Kid. Just choking him on the top rope, and then has tagged in Kevin Graves, who goes over and continues to choke Billy the Kid on the top rope. Ref Oscar has his hands full with this match, and he's been working hard tonight. He's the only ref on duty, so this is match number 5 for him. Looks like Kevin Graves is trying to put Billy the Kid up on a surfboard. Oh, he got it. Billy the Kid is upside down and getting stretched out over Kevin Graves' knees, but he managed to flip himself over a little bit more and almost pin Graves. Billy the Kid finally got to tag Dick Davis, but of course the ref didn't see it. because he was being distracted. So he's forcing Dick Davis out of the ring, and while he's doing that, Drex Odell and Kevin Graves are pummeling Billy the Kid. Odell's pinning Kid, but he only got a 2. So they will have to coordinate all that over again with the tag. Billy the Kid is up on Drex Odell's back, riding him like a bronco, but that thud was Drex Odell throwing him off. And both guys are down. Maybe that was enough of a break in things for Billy the Kid to get the tag. Getting closer, and both tag in. Ref Oscar sees both the tags, and Dick Davis is lighting up Kevin Graves with clotheslines. Now Billy the Kid has stayed in the ring, and a double slingshot of Kevin Graves into a corner. They tried to take Drex Odell down. There he goes. They got him down on the second attempt. Dick Davis is sizing up Drex Odell. Double drop kick. Ref Oscar has not asked Billy the Kid to leave the ring. And they just slammed Kevin Graves into Drex Odell. Now Odell is caught in the ropes. High Society has come out to ringside. They've untangled Drex Odell from the ropes. Scott Powers is distracting the ref, but that's sort of backfiring because while he's doing that, Billy the Kid and Dick Davis are pummeling Drex Odell. Now that Kevin Graves got in some offense, Drex Odell just shoved down Kevin Graves. He's not happy about getting Kevin Graves slammed into him earlier. And it looks like Drex Odell is off to the back, leaving Kevin Graves alone. Dick Davis just punched Scott Powers off the ring. Kevin Graves gave Dick Davis a low blow and managed to roll him up for the pinfall, even though he had been left on his own. So Drex Odell gave up on his partner and started walking away, but nonetheless gets a W in the record books, thanks to Kevin Graves.
And it is for the first ever Backbreaker Wrestling Sharpshooter Submission Tournament Championship. You can only win by submission. Your first competitor tonight is making his way back from East LA, weighing in at 230 pounds, Luis Rojas. And his opponent, making his way to the ring where he will not kiss the trophy. Weighing in at 235 pounds from Hollywood, Florida, Flawless Dave Allen.
During his entrance, Dave Allen was still hobbling on that leg. It took quite a lot of abuse in his first match earlier tonight. If it wasn't clear in the announcing, this match has a special guest referee. Mr. Cade Lee has put on the zebra stripes. Allen is starting off the match already favoring that leg. This is the Sharpshooter Submission Tournament main event. This match has to be won by a submission. Allen is going after Luis's arm. The crowd has started an Oompa Loompa chant at Luis Rojas. That's uncalled for. Or maybe it's called for. Yeah, Luis Rojas is going after that leg. He tried to put Dave Allen in a figure four, but Allen managed to fight him off enough to stand up. And now he has Rojas in the corner. That was a nice chop. He limped with Rojas to the next corner. Another chop. And now to the opposite corner. Head into the turnbuckle. Oh, wait. Third chop. All right, one more corner to go. There we go. I like symmetry. Oh, but right before that chop, Rojas kicked Allen in the leg. And now he's got the leg wrapped around the lower ring rope, and he's wrenching on it. Luis Rojas has been working on Allen's leg for quite a while. But Allen's finally taking the action outside the ring. He kicked Luis Rojas, and now he has driven him backwards into the ring post, still on the outside. Now he's rolling Rojas into the ring. But he's really only got one good leg to do anything with at this point. And Rojas has started going after that leg again. He's kicking the hamstring. Allen's trying to fight out from below, but that's not going that well. He is up to his feet. Rojas is going to slingshot him. Oh, no, he's not. He's got Allen's arms twisted behind his own back. Allen got out of that. And has rolled up Rojas into an actual sharpshooter. Remember, this is called the Sharpshooter Submission Tournament. Rojas got to the lower rope. That doesn't mean that you have to win with a sharpshooter, but it would be appropriate. Now after a Russian leg sweep, Rojas has Allen in a sharpshooter. With the shape that Allen's leg is in, I don't know how much of this he can stand. Well, but he managed to shake off Rojas, at least for the moment. The crowd is chanting, "Let's go, Dave," for Mr. Allen. He just gave Luis Rojas an RKO, which is fine, but generally that kind of thing leads to a pinfall, and that's not going to work here. And now they're just slugging it out in the middle of the ring until Rojas kicked Allen in the leg. Allen picked up Rojas as he was coming by and gave him a backbreaker over his knee. Charges him into the corner. Bulldog onto the forehead, kind of thing. And a big basement kick. Normally, Allen would go for the pin after this, but that isn't going to do it. So he has another idea. What's he doing? Picking up Rojas's feet. Looked like he was going to go for a sharpshooter again, but Rojas is kicking out of it. Oh, now Rojas has grabbed Allen's leg and gave him some low blows. I can't tell if he was trying to kick Allen's leg, but I don't know. A couple of those kicks landed on the leg, and a couple of them landed somewhere else. And now Rojas has flipped over Allen one more time into a sharpshooter. Allen is trying to push himself out of it, but he's not going anywhere. Oh, and he tapped out. Luis Rojas is the winner of the sharpshooter submission tournament. Las Vegas is shocked. And now Luis Rojas is looking longingly at the sharpshooter trophy.
Submission tournament champion, Luis Rojas.
Look at that. Luis Rojas gets a trophy and a medallion. It's like the Olympics. Dave Allen is walking away kind of dejected. He shouldn't feel too bad. I bought a couple of cookies from his football team's table. I made the mistake of eating both of them one after the other, and now my stomach is mad at me. Should have saved one for later. Well, that's the end. The sharpshooter submission tournament is in the books. Luis Rojas is the winner. I'm sure he will be gloating about that for the at least near future and possibly for a long time afterwards.
Thank you guys so much for coming out to the sharpshooter submission tournament. I want to invite all of you back right to this building, November 16th, where Kaylee and a team of his choosing will take on Kurt Joseph and a team of his choosing. Mega Clash 3, November
So the next show, November 16th, right back here at St. Mary's Hildebrandt Hall. Cade Lee with a team of his choosing against Kurt Joseph and a team of his choosing. That could be interesting.